Hello friends, welcome to MMM. I want to use this opportunity to explain a little bit to you what is MMM and how does it work. MMM, as a community of people, believe that the world is bad, that the world is inhuman, unfair, and unjust, that this is a world of money and not a world of people. And if the purpose for working should be to make money, we should then ask ourselves, why do bankers work less and earn 100 times more than a laborer? If you think sincerely about this, why do bankers work much less and their salaries and what they make cannot in any way be compared to what a factory worker makes? Is money really a measure of labor? Or is it an unjust way of enslaving the masses? We are all slaves. We labor all our lives. We are taught from childhood that we have to work hard to make ends meet. But then, why is it not the same for the billionaires? And how do they make all those money? Are we being treated as idiots? Do we understand what money means exactly? So I ask, what is money? Of course, money is not any measure of labor. These are fairy tales for idiots. Otherwise, you will live like lords. Or maybe you don't work hard enough. Unfortunately, money is just a tool to hold all of us in slavery. We are all slaves. Slaves of money. More precisely, we are slaves of those who print the money. Have you ever wondered that it's immoral to trade yourself? That it is kind of prostitution to sell your own strength, your brain, your time? What is the difference from the trading your own body? Well, but you will object that people have to work. If everybody would stop doing his job, what is going to happen then? We will resettle in caves again, won't we? That is ridiculous. That same convincing argument will be heard for sure in the slavery society. When the slaveholders had been trying to make us understand their slaves, who for some reason didn't want to work for them, and asked that different questions, and later the same argument the landlords told their selves clearly and confidently. After all, if you stop working, what is going to happen then? Our society will collapse and we will all die of hunger. How is the financial world organized? The financial world is actually a pyramid. The Fed, which is in charge of the U.S. reserve system, is at the top of it. The Fed creates dollars. How much? As much as they want. Of course. The Fed adhere to some of their own internal rules and regulations. They try, for example, not to create too much dollars to prevent complete devaluation of the currency. But in principle, the Fed can create as many dollars as they want. At different times, there are no external limitations for what they absolutely want to do. The lower level of this global pyramid are the central banks of different countries. All other local national banks are situated on even lower levels. Of course, this is how they carry along the pyramid. And then someone will argue that the banks are not pyramids. Now, when we come to MMM, we know, of course, that MMM is a community and is built on mutual aid benevolence principles. As a result, MMM is much more progressive than any other commercial company. In a commercial company, money is a goal, and if the company is not profitable, it goes bankrupt and closes down. MMM does not keep money, but simply joins together people willing to provide assistance to those who are willing to receive it. Listen, everything in MMM is done from your own will. There is no imposition. There is no central account because it has failed in the past. And then MMM, through the genius of Mavrodi, Sergei Mavrodi, invented the fact that people should simply help each other, transferring the money to the person that needs it at the point that he needs it. Therefore, MMM cannot go bankrupt. They regularly record videos of people that participate as evidence that nobody has lost money. In fact, if you go on the net and search for videos of happiness, you will see a lot, millions of videos of happiness where people say the amount they provided help with and the amount they received. Naturally, we cannot say that there are no risks in MMM. As you know, in a community, when you provide help willingly to the other, and then you get help at the time you need the money, everything flows in tandem. Everything flows in tandem. The main factors of MMM success is the continuous and progressive growth of the active members of the community who are actively engaged in development of the system, and in addition, request assistance not in the full amount which they have made available, but only the amount which they really need. Though now people provide help, and MMM has devised a means that after 14 days, these funds are defrozen, and you are free to cash them in case you need money, or you are free to leave them for 30 days, or you are free to even leave them to continue growing and take the amount you need at each particular point in time. You can actually invest on a long term, and as time goes on, you cash out some or part of the money that you have invested. So, MMM has taken different measures to ensure that in case of difficulty, something is put in place, what you call the pause mode. And during the pause mode, the Mavros, which accrued to the participants' personal office before the beginning of the mode, stops its growth. As the pause mode ends, the old Mavros continue growing again, and you can get help. The pause mode can last for 1 or 2 months. While pause, you can exchange all the Mavros, but at a floating ratio. So these devices have been put in place. But in my opinion, we will never get to that as long as we continue providing help, we continue enlisting more people. But more interestingly, the success of MMM is based on the fact that those who have participated and received help actually do invest the money again. Sometimes they even add more to what they have provided. So, at each particular point in time, MMM has more people providing help than people asking for help. That is it. So this is where the strength of MMM lies. The strength of MMM lies in the people. MMM can only crash the moment the participants decide to allow it to crash. Because as long as we continue providing, withdrawing, providing, enrolling new people, then MMM will what? last forever. So how does it work? MMM works in a very simple way. Simple as ABC, that everybody is able to participate. In the words of Albert Einstein, he says, everyone knows that this is impossible, but an ignorant person comes who does not know this and makes an invention. This is exactly what my brother has done. First of all, for your information, we still live in the slave-holding society like we did thousands of years ago. Nothing has essentially changed, except that the bonds are economic now. That is all the difference. All the rest is all the same. There are slaves and hosts, the owners, and who prints the money. Are you surprised? Let's go further. What is money, we ask again? Nothing at all, nil, phantom, emptiness, just funny money, colorful, beautiful, decorated pieces of paper with sorts of watermarks, that emblems and images. They are absolutely not secured and are printed in any quantity and at its whole direction. The host then gives away these candy wrappers to the slaves as a payment for work, and even fatherly preaching at the letter with a serious and significant appearance that money is to be earned honestly, and the slaves dutifully attend. They are the ones, since their earliest days, have been zombied by all kinds of right textbooks, movies, medias, all giant, well-established and carefully efficient brainwashing state machines. Slaves do not know anything but this, and it seems to them that this is the way the world will go. But otherwise, is it possible? Together in MMM, we can change the world. Together in MMM, we can start providing help for each other. We can start getting help from each other. The problem is that we must not panic. MMM has gone through different stages of evolution. In fact, it might interest you to know that MMM, started by Sergei Mavrodi, was started as a cooperative society. Then in 1992, there was a free charge travel campaign on the metros of Moscow. And in October 1992, it came out with a joint stock. In February 1994, there was shareholders MMM 94 collapse. Today is always better than yesterday, Sergei Mavrodi would say. In October 1994, he registered himself as a candidate for the State Duma when he was arrested, and he managed to come out of the prison as a member of the Duma. Now, in 2001, MMM stopped cash stacking, because they were arrested, the money was carted away, and then it was all started again. Now in MMM, we have the participants, the ordinary participants, we have the guiders, and different types of guiders. Now when you register in MMM, you receive a bonus of $20, $50, or $100, according to how much you have invested. So now, registration is not only free, but you are paid to register. You get a bonus. Where do you see this kind of thing? Now, there is also referral bonuses. When you bring in a friend to join MMM, you get 10% referral bonus. 10% referral bonus. Apart from your Mavro that is growing at 30% monthly. This simply amounts to a 1% daily growth, which means your Mavro, the money you invest in MMM, is growing at 1% per day, cumulative interest, at 30%